And Dream, the map has started. Here we are, starting to the right side. Our Protoss player for the Slayers team bringing in a 1-0 lead in this best of 3. It is Genius.
Very smart Protoss, self-named himself Genius. And he's such an unpredictable, scary player to face. So is this one though, the MVP Terran in the blue, known as MVP Dream. He is such an aggressive player. He will hit you with all sorts of all-ins. You know, he actually is so similar to Hart. Hart is a player who beat, I think, a few foreign fan favorites, so some people really dislike him for that reason. And I'm not talking about just his recent results, but in the past, he's actually at foreign events knocked out big favorites, so people really dislike his style. But you could say the same about Dream's style. He's just very aggressive, oftentimes one bases, especially against opponents of higher caliber like Genius.
The MVP player is definitely dreaming of the second round of Code A, which is so important because when you were able to pass the second round, the first round of Code A, then you are already in the up and down. So even if you lose in round 2 or round 3, you're not out of the competition just yet. You can still participate in the up and downs. You have your spot in Code A secured. You might even end up in Code S. And this is exactly what these players are aiming for. They want to achieve the Premier League in StarCraft 2 in their career. They want to end up there.
They want the money. They want the prestige. And Dream is going to do an early block here. But in this case, has not taken gas. So he will be doing a one-axis man. On a map of this size, pretty tough to make an early drop play work. You would have to do a proxy, essentially, to hit that timing that you want. And I think Genius is not going to be too tricked by this. He's going to go, alright, well, you did this last time and then did a factory build, but I think this time I can expect you to expand. Going to harass just a little bit more on this SCV. May even force a halt. He does have to do that halt trick to get back inside.
And without the gas taking, of course, an expansion is exactly what he's going to do here. Genius, on the other hand, will once again start to do what he did on the last map. Start with the expansion, go for the double gateway follow-up, and then transition into robotics to get the scouting information.
Genius is such a good player. He's faced so many different builds. He's done so many builds. You know, he came out of therapy again very recently for his Void Ray addiction, but he's doing fine. And he was the guy to do a Nexus cancel 4-gate, and even a Nexus cancel 5-gate on Tal'Darim Altar. I remember when Beyond finally made it back into the GSL, this is before the match-fixing debacle. He was about to maybe have a chance, and Genius just 4-gate or 5-gateway all in with the Nexus cancel, gets him on Tal'Darim Altar, busts him out of the GSL, and it was like, I remember watching that game just going, Genius can't do anything. He was known for his Forge play, his macro games, and he does builds like that against Beyond back in the day, and it's like, things haven't changed. Genius is so aggressive when he wants to be. The eBay block is still stopping his Nexus right now.
Exactly, and that shows that Genius can't get away with everything. He skipped his Zealot, and therefore he has to wait for his Stalker to actually do damage at the engineering bay. And it's being attacked right now. And
whoa, I think he's gonna 4-gate. Maybe. No, he decided not to. I thought, you know, he stopped his production on his gateway. He's just going to go up to 3 gates, going to be aggressive with 3 gates off of his Nexus. A weird way to do this, even pulling the second probe like he did.
Double gas now coming up for Dream and the bunker. The main question, of course, being how many Marines does he actually build right now? Because if Genius wants to play this, I don't know, is this actually old school? Just applying a little bit 3-gate pressure. Is that already old school?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, this is kind of weird how he's done his build because his Nexus was so delayed, he had to alter his build. And you and I were looking on the screen, he had his probe selected before he made his robot for quite some time. Like he was trying to decide what to do. He's still not mining from his second gas. He doesn't need that gas 100%, but it's a little bit weird how Genius is playing this right now.
He's building more probes as we speak. Stim has been started for Dream. No forward pylon for the Protoss player. We don't have a probe on the map, if I'm not mistaken. No, only the one holding the Xanaga Watchtower. That's the only one that they has. And now we already have the robotics finished, so the first observer will be started very soon to get an idea of what exactly Dream is up to here.
A great reaction by Genius, pulling that probe back, saving it. And he's actually just, I mean, this is one way to get into your 3 gateways from your robot that you want in this matchup always, and I think the timings of this are just a little bit made weird by that eBay, and Genius kind of struggled to respond. I have to say, I play Terran only right now, but when I was playing Protoss, and I played a ton of Protoss, but the race I played by far the most, whenever that eBay block goes down, when you watch it, as a spectator, as a caster, you don't quite feel like what it means when everything gets messed up by that sword kill if you skip the Zealot.
It's already annoying when you have the Zealot if you don't catch it in time, but if you skip the Zealot entirely and you just head straight for the Stalker and then suddenly you see this eBay block, it just throws off everything.
It's like a gas steal kind of in how it makes you feel, but it's like even different than that. It's even more annoying.
Yeah, it's way worse. All your timings are screwed up entirely. But right now we have Dream already with a with actually a missile turret that he builds here, not only of course to catch those. I don't. Do you think he expects DTs and wants to be safe against them? Because this missile turret is of course also great to have a quick look at the Observer, but on the other hand, catches one with a scan here. But yeah,
where is that missile turret? Where did he make that? I'm actually trying to find it right now.
Did he cancel it?
Possibly. I cannot find it. Yeah, I think he must have canceled it. I do not see missile turret at all. He's making a second bunker now.
Yeah, so he started it and canceled it afterwards.
I was gonna say, like, did you make it in like a super weird location? You know, I feel like it's kind of cool that people cut missile turrets out of their builds because it's 100 minerals you want to spend on something else, but at the same time, I'm a little bit surprised at how few people make missile turrets these days, because even if you don't know DTs are coming, like you said, it can really limit the places the observers can be. You have to be so careful as a Pross with your observer when there are turrets out on the map.
Yeah, and you always want to have the scouting information, so that's of course one of the things that was really well done by Dream just now, killing his opponent's observer. But he's moving out with a lot of Marines right now, which has been spotted already by Genius. He knows what's coming.
The Genius is actually playing this game so well. He was so aggressive on the map that Dream freaked out. He made 3 bunkers, then he was trying to hold those. Now he's salvaged them all, like, okay, I realize that you're not attacking me. But now he's got the Colossi coming on the way as well as Blink. And if he just does good force fields against this Marine-heavy army, he should be totally fine for the first Colossus to come out. He's just got to make sure he controls these ramps. Right now, if Dream gets up that bigger ramp, it's going to be a lot harder to use those force fields. But look at all the money Genius is starting to spend. His production facilities are up. His Blink is almost done. Blink can be used against a Terran player defensively so well.
And Dream really has a bit of a problem with this attack if he really commits to it.
Yeah, he cannot commit. He doesn't have enough.
Yeah, it's just too much. Look at this Protoss army and the Colossus. Can be countered with this, and it will be out very soon. And Dream, he already backs off.
Yeah, he knows he can't make this work. He's getting his armory up.
Wow, takes down the Observer. Really nice catch here by Dream, and he uses this opportunity to drop into his opponent's base. But Blink, as you said, is done.
He has Blink, and if he actually sees this, he can use it quite well. Nice patience here by Dream. He does start +2 for his weapons and +1 armor. Genius a little bit behind upgrades. His forges are on the way, but his range upgrade is going to be out, and he will have some time to use that. A huge stim here by Dream. He wants to commit. The Colossus, though, is just going to do too much damage.
He already stimmed, and now he needs to retreat once more. The Colossus is here. We have the Blink Stalkers, and of course, also those force fields, which are really important here. And the +1/+1 has been started, as now Genius completed his double forge. Behind in upgrades at this point, but with proper chrono boosts, he might be able to catch up with Dream just in time.
And with all the pressure Dream has been putting on, yeah, it has not succeeded. He didn't really hit his timing like he wanted to, but at the same time, now he's dropping the main still, and he's got that 3rd command center up. Yeah. This is something that Genius does not have, and Genius actually really has to split himself here, and he's not doing the best job of it. He's actually going to defend in the main finally, but he's already lost some units at the front. He lost a pylon as well.
He needs to be really careful here. He's still in a supply lead overall. Needs to get these upgrades, of course. And also the 3rd base is going to be quite the problem for Genius if he doesn't put some pressure onto Dream. But right now he's actually trying to chase down the army of his opponent and doing a decent job of that.
Now he knows the drops are all cleaned up, and now he can go on the attack. Does have a forward pylon up actually to the south, so he can attack that 3rd base location with Zealot run-bys. But this attack is huge, and they're actually missing each other. He doesn't have any idea that the Terran army is coming back. Now he's going to see the rallied units. He knows he needs to get back ASAP.
Still has a couple of units in the main base, though. They might be able to stall some time, especially this Colossus that just popped out. And he needs it, but he needs to be aware of it. Now here comes the Terran player moving in. All the probes have been rallied to the main base, but the Colossus is doing a huge amount of damage before dying to the medivacs.
Yeah, those Vikings take it out, and he was clumped up on the ramp there. So a great defense here by Genius. If he cleans this up, there's going to be nothing to stop a counterattack.
He needs to use his Blink right now in the main base. We still have a couple of bio units going strong for the Terran play. Here comes the Blink, and Genius taking down Marines, Marauders, Vikings, and Medivacs alike. Everything is dying here.
Yeah, now Genius takes a 40 supply lead. He's down in Harvesters a little bit, and the third base for Dream is up, but he doesn't have that production quite set up yet. He needs a few more add-ons. He's starting to add those now, getting those extra tech labs he needs. But Genius has such a scary force coming out, and there's no longer, you know, a huge upgrade problem for Genius. He's got 1-1.
And he's going for +2/+2 while having a 81 to 40 army supply lead. A really great position for Genius to be in, to apply pressure, to do something about the situation. And he already warped in a couple of stalks offensively while he has his own third base building. So great position for Genius to be in, trying to take down the Harvesters of his opponent.
He grabs these with just one Colossus swipe. He just barely doesn't get it. But still, Dream is in so much trouble right now.
He even has to lift off his natural.
I can't see him winning here.
He's losing every single supply depot that he has in the board. He's actually supply blocked right now. He's still down in overall supply. He has literally like no income at his natural and third base. He's only relying on his main base right now. And this is a huge problem for Dream. Another attempted Blink to take down Vikings. But at this point, Genius can just camp the low ground and can contain his opponent. He has the third base coming up. Even the additional tech, not only with +2/+2, no, also with the Templar Archive where he is researching Storm as we speak.
He's going to lose another depot, and Dream cannot produce units. 5 depots on the way. Cannot spend his money. And another Blink forward to try to take off those Vikings. Got to be careful about that. But he also baits the stem, so it's a fairly even trade. Now finally with the depots done, he can reproduce units again. Genius has the third up. He's got the 2-2 finishing. He's got Storm, as mentioned earlier.
The funny thing is actually the base to the top left where we have a pylon for Genius, and he already spotted the command center. He can warp in a unit whenever. He already warped in the Zealot in order to attack and make sure that there's no mining going on. Those Colossi are so important. They do so much damage. They grant the high ground vision.
Yeah, he's trying to repair those Vikings, but the damage output of these Stalkers with +2 is just too much.
And he still has mining. That's something that Dream just does not have. He only has his main base, and this is not enough. Look at the bank that Genius at this point is already building.
Yeah, he's building a sick bank, and he just got 4 more gateways done, so he's making those Zealots and Templar. The Zealot and the Pylon to the north were taken out by a drop, but this drop is now going to be deflected, and Genius is just going to heavily commit to killing that command center. Nothing that Dream can do. In fact, I'm a little bit surprised he's not already lifting. He has to realize that this is going to happen, and it's too late. He's going to lose it.
Yeah, he does it right now, but he, exactly as you already pointed out, I mean, he lifts it too late, so it's going to lose the command center. There's nothing that he can do about it. With another forward Blink, those Stalkers will get off enough shots to take down. There it is. At the same time, well, Dream is just trying to get into a good position and take down maybe the natural of Genius, but there are too many units, and the Protoss army is on the retreat. So if he catches these forces on the map again and takes the army of Dream down, what can the Terran player do?
I mean, he already. The question is already what can he do before that even happened. And Genius has such great map vision. He had the Watchtower. He forces another huge stim by Dream, who does not have medevacs. He cannot keep stimming like this. He's stuck. There's rocks in the middle of the map have not been destroyed, so...
And what can he do? Is being taken by Genius now. He's heading to +3/+3. We have him with all these upgrades. Now even High Templars with Storm in his army composition.
He's got
Dream
pylons.
is down 60 supply.
Yeah, and he can't defend his base. All the pylons that MVP Dream has to deal with all the warp-ins that are going to be around the map. If Genius drops some Zealots, how can he stop them? The Zealots are going to have so many upgrades, they can just rip through those SCVs.
Right now, Dream is like a mouse trapped in front of a cat. And Genius, he is just trying to he's just trying to find his last opening. Another stim without the medivacs.
And here come the Storms. They're just too much. He doesn't have a lot of units at home, but he's got the Storms, which defy the time. He needs to warp in Zealots.
This isn't even the army. This is not even the army for Genius. These are just a few reinforcements that he tried to send across the map. He's ripping through the defenses of Dream at home, trying to get into the main base of the Terran player, and at the same time his reinforcements are defending against the army of Dream. GG. A convincing win by Genius. A series that was really well played by the Slayers Protoss, taking down MVP Dream with a 2-0.
Yeah, just a pretty quick, to be quite frank, smackdown there. It was very obvious Genius was the favorite player. He just owned him. Now, that was a really quick 2-0. Well, not quick, but just like really forced by Dream trying to do anything. It was very clear that he was not comfortable playing against Genius. He did different strategies that were very aggressive, but he couldn't hit his timings right, and Genius defended well enough to take the lead.
And if you just look at today's match results, we have to the right every single player that came through the up and downs. Sorry, my bad. Through the Code A qualifier. Every single one of them lost without taking a single map.
Yeah, that's very true. So let's take a look at what we're going to look at tonight in our evening matches, which will take place in about 3 hours' time. It's obviously going to be Ace against Roro. Should be awesome. Roro, one of our Code A seeds for Kespo players. Then next up, we'll have Hack against Rare, a new CJ Entus player coming in here.
Then we have First against Byung, two of the players that were able to make it through the qualifier, and the last game of the day will be Jaedong against Finale.
And what a finale that will be.
Yeah.
Finale getting a Code A seed this season, showing a lot of promise in GSTL especially. And he's going to be facing a tough opponent. You know, Jaedong is a Kespo player, but he's been playing for a long time now and has definitely proved his skills. He played really well in Code S, despite the fact he wasn't able to get out of his group. He looked really strong there. And Finale is going to have a tough opponent to face.
Yeah, so these are the games that we are going to see at 6:10 p.m. Korean Standard Time, which is in roughly 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yes.
So guys, we'll be back fairly soon with the second round of the day. See you in about 3.5 hours.
No more